Now, I'll show you what we've done so far. So, get this up in the air. So now, if you look up here, this piece here is the original factory body mount. There's a rubber bushing in here with a bolt that goes to it here. This is how the front of the cab was made originally, to be bolted to the frame. Well, in the back here, this piece was not even there at all. It had a shackle type system that actually mounted the rear of the cab to the frame. It was a completely different kind of body mount, and it's really kind of old, and you can buy replacements for them, but it's just not as good a system as their front mount. So what I did is I duplicated their front body mounts. Now this piece up here, this brace, which is reinforcement, I had to box this in with a piece of sheet metal. Might be able to see some of it back here where my finger is. This is covered, and inside of this box here is a small piece of pipe that this bolt goes to. Put the pipe in there to keep from crushing the thinner metal together. Now this bolt's got something good and sturdy to pinch up against. But whenever we get this thing stripped down and the chassis is completely welded up, these will get welded up too. But now I don't have to have two separate types of body bushings for this truck. I can run the same type of body bushing front and rear, and the cab's good and solid. So got that done. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but sometimes it goes that way.
That's one of the things that I enjoy most about this invention. But it is within our self-interest to understand.
All right, back here with the professor. I want to take a minute and talk to people that are watching this video, especially the younger people that are watching this video. I think it's important that the younger generation gets involved in this hobby. If not, it's going to be dead in a few generations. I didn't always start off being able to do this. When I was a kid, I was raised poor. If I wanted something cool, I made something cool. So I taught myself how to do this. It helped that my father was a welder and a fitter and a fabricator. But the point to doing all this series of videos that you guys are watching is to let you know that you can do this. You can build something cool. All right, I said in a couple of videos ago that you were going to be able to see some really cool sheet metal work. That process was going to begin. I got started on it. I've got my cab corners, inner and outer cab corners, that were all rotted out. You can go back and reference previous videos and see that. Got those replaced. One of the problems with the factory floorboard is there are a lot of contours. The center section of the floorboard from the factory is basically a really big dent. So that causes problems when you're doing upholstery work. If you can have the flattest floor possible, it's better. Now, some of the problems that arise from building a flat floor is you get a lot of buckling and what's called oil canning. When you push on a piece of metal and you hear it pop, let go of it, and it pops back. The term for that is oil canning. There are a few different ways to get rid of oil canning to fix this problem. One of the ways to do it is this right here. This is a machine called a bead roller that actually puts very symmetrical, controlled dents in the metal. Well, when you put these dents in the metal with the bead roller, it actually strengthens the metal tremendously. So that helps to stiffen up the individual panels. The other thing that you'll see now is the bracing that's been done underneath the truck floorboard. This is a way to also stiffen it up. You're looking at that now. These are the factory braces. These only come out partially and they stop right here. Looking underneath here, I built these sheet metal braces that weld to the floor pan, cross brace here. These braces go all the way back to the back of the cab. Did a nice little tapered treatment there, a little aerodynamic look to it that's never gonna be seen because it'll be running down the road. But what I wound up with, as you can see, looking here, this floor is not even completely attached. This is a good stiff floor. The nice thing about this is the problem of laying carpet in the truck is no more. You got a nice flat surface. It's real easy to do the upholstery work. So this is why I did that. All the stuff's made from scratch. Did it myself. I'm kind of proud of what it turned out like. So next thing that we'll be looking at is firewall. We'll do what are called toe boards, which are the angle board, the pieces of metal that fit here. We'll do the transmission hump and build what's a lot of people call the dog house for the back of the motor, because the engine actually sets back far enough that it's going to be partially inside the vehicle. So all this sheet metal work will be done hopefully the next time you see the video. More problems I want to discuss with you guys. These pieces here came out of this. This piece here, as you can see, it looks like Swiss cheese. This piece goes here. And this is a pretty typical problem with these old trucks. These things rust out real bad here. There's the way that they sealed these up, it's very old and antiquated. They catch water and hold water here. Or issues, I should say, that created this problem down here with all this rust. Right here, in order to have fresh air vent inside the cab back in the day when they built this thing, this had a set of louvers on it. Well, guess what? Water gets inside louvers. It's not all sealed up. Water gets in here, collects down here, rots this whole entire piece out as I showed you earlier. So the solution to this is cut the louvered vents completely out and replace it with a nice smooth piece of sheet metal. No more water leaks, problem solved. Good way to do. It's a nice respectable repair. So another problem solved. Well, this is what happens. You get this thing that just rusts out. Well, these pieces have to be removed very carefully so you don't distort the shape of them too bad, like this. And then underneath here, this was completely rusted out. This whole piece here is a brand new piece of metal. These pieces have to go back in to actually have something to attach these pieces to, as you can see. So the solution is open heart surgery on sheet metal basically, and then a bunch of sheet metal origami. This side here looked like that, only this side was much, much, much worse. This panel here was gone like that one is, but all this piece here is new, this piece is new, and this was eaten out all the way up to this point, all the way up here. This is a completely handmade piece. This is not a manufactured patch panel. This is all handmade. Use my bead roller to get this nice crisp little line in here. This line is important because it's where the fender matches up to it. So all this needs to be very consistent, very even, but it's a good, solid, decent, respectable repair. The whole reason that I'm making these pieces instead of buying these pieces is to showcase the craftsmanship that goes into doing something like that. People need to be able to see what it is that I've done and see that the finished product actually has integrity. So that's where I'm at with this, and keep following along, subscribe, comment, like, do all that good stuff. All right, one of the really crazy things about these old pickup trucks is they actually put the gas tank inside the cab. It's nuts. No one would ever even dream of doing that now. You're riding around with a bomb sitting behind you. Well, the gas cap filler neck was right here. So this got shaved, got filled in, and if you'll remember in previous segments, all of this up here was really eaten up, rusted out real bad. As you can see, I went through and replaced this metal. I've still got a couple little pinholes that needed to be welded up, but this belt line has been repaired now. These holes are welded up here and here, up here, up here. I still have this pinch weld cut out and repair. That's a minor thing. But the main thing is this belt line is finished, filler neck's done. As you can see, we finally got all our cab corners finished. So moving along, making progress. Hope you guys enjoy what we've been doing and stay tuned. Don't forget, go build something cool.